Andrew, well, it is time to take a look at your money this morning. U.S. News and World Report recently released its annual ranking of the nation's best states to live in. The goal of the rankings is to assess how well each state serves its residents in a variety of ways. But where do Illinois and Iowa fall in this latest national ranking? Well, financial advisor, Mark Gravicheski is joining us now live. Good morning, Mark.
Morning, Charles. Happy Monday to you.
Yeah, good to have you here. So talk us through the process, or what is the process or methodology behind this ranking system?
Most of the state rankings we see typically, Charles, focus more on the economy. They'll assess each state's economic growth, the unemployment rate, level of taxation, the cost of living, for example. But U.S. News and World Report's rankings are a little bit different. They're much more encompassing. They will also examine each state's education system, its level of health care, its infrastructure, even its level of crime. So the final rankings, Charles, reflect more of a quality of life analysis, so to speak, rather than a ranking based purely on economics.
Okay, and then from a local standpoint, where does Illinois and Iowa land in these rankings?
Well, Iowa certainly has a lot to cheer about here. Iowa ranks number 6 in the nation. Among its strengths, it ranks number 3 in terms of economic opportunity and affordability. It ranks number 10 in infrastructure. In other words, it has a relatively cheap and reliable power grid, good internet access, and quality roads and bridges. Its K through 12 education system ranks number 11 in the nation. It ranks number 12 in terms of the state's short-term and long-term fiscal stability. Iowa's low crime rate ranks 14th best in the nation. Now, Charles, one area where Iowa kind of has some relative weakness, so to speak, is the economy, which ranks number 36 in the nation. Now, to its credit, Iowa does have one of the lower unemployment rates in the nation, but it does have less development of new business ventures, new companies. But again, Charles, a very solid number 6 ranking.
Right, and Mark, what about Illinois?
Well, over the years, I've done a lot of these state rankings, and anytime you get to Illinois, the conversation always starts with, and then there's Illinois. Now, I can say that because I live in Illinois. But out of the 50 states, Illinois ranks number 38. Its highest rated category, Charles, is its 15th best ranking on crime. Now, this may seem a little bit of a head scratcher to many people, especially considering Chicago, but much of the ranking is driven by Illinois' low incarceration rate. U.S. News and World Report considers a low incarceration rate a good thing. Now, others may argue that, if you're not locking certain people up in prison, they're simply back out on the street committing more crimes. But also, Illinois' K through 12 education system ranks a very respectable number 16th best in the nation. But then, unfortunately, things kind of start to fall apart for the state of Illinois. Illinois ranks number 36 in terms of its air and water quality, level of pollution. It ranks number 40 in economic affordability and opportunity. In other words, it has a very high cost of living. Its economy ranks number 43 with high unemployment, slow economic growth, and finally, its short-term and long-term fiscal outlook ranks dead last in the nation at number 50. So a little bit of a kind of a comparative analysis between Illinois and Iowa.
All righty. Well, Mark, thank you as always, and we will see you next Monday.
Great to see you again. Enjoy the rest of your week, Charles. Take care.
All righty. Here's what's coming up on GMA.